Hello and welcome to Euphoria. Today I'm going to continue mocking this set, which is set 31097, the Townhouse, Cafe, Pet Shop and Apartment building. In a previous video I built this set according to the instructions to make these two buildings and the corner garden. And in the first video of this series I looked at the options for converting these buildings into modular buildings sitting on a 32 by 32 base plate. Now there are lots of ways to do this, and in the previous video I looked at some of the options and settled on an outline design for this mock. In this video I'll take the design a bit further by completing the structural design for this mock. In the first video of this series I looked at how I could start turning this into a modular mock. The two main options were for a straight modular building with both buildings facing the front and a pavement along one side, or to make a corner modular with the pavement running along two sides of the base plate. So in the end I decided to keep the corner layout, which will be reminiscent of the original 3-in-1 corner design. The apartment building will face onto one side of the base plate, and round the corner the townhouse will face onto the other side. There's still room for a small courtyard garden in the corner. So here I've shown the layout just in bricks to make it clearer. This will be the townhouse with a 14 stud wide front, and it will be 16 studs deep. These are the two modular connection points on this side with a rear entrance, room for a staircase internally going to the upper floor. This will be the corner courtyard with the seating area, probably the tree, and then on this side will be the apartment building, 20 studs wide and 12 studs deep, with an entrance here with stairs up to the apartment on the upper level, and here can be somewhere along here the entrance to the shop or cafe on the ground floor. The apartment building extends on the ground floor back by 8 studs, so I have an 8 by 10 stud extension on the back, which encompasses the modular connection point on this side as well, and that can be the kitchen and serving area for the restaurant or shop. And there's also room at the back for a rear entrance with just a little bit of paving at the back to get access to both of the rear entrances. So I think that makes sense from a footprint and layout point of view. The buildings will be structurally much simpler if they're on a rectangular footprint, and that should look pretty good. So now we can move on to the structural design. As I explained, this mock is kind of two separate buildings, but of course they have to work together and can't get in each other's way. I imagine that the townhouse is an older and smaller building and has been here a long time. Then the building next door was demolished to make way for this apartment building. So the townhouse is a more traditional building and the apartment is much more modern. So we'll start by looking at the townhouse. It's going to sit here with its frontage on this side. I've tried to keep the feel of the little building that was in the original Creator 3-in-1 set, but I've expanded the front to be 14 studs wide. That's allowed me to make the arch detail around the window a little bit wider so that the arch doesn't obscure the window anymore. That means I can make the front window in the upstairs part a little bit wider, and in fact I've swapped the windows round, so the smaller window that was at the front is now at the side here. I've decided that this isn't going to be a coffee shop anymore. I'm thinking that as a small traditional building it would be too small for a coffee shop, so I'm going to keep it just as a small house. It can just have a living room downstairs and a bedroom and probably a toilet upstairs. I'm going to make the whole building in this light yellow colour. That was the colour of the top floor in the 3-in-1 set. This side of the building will just be plain, because in a modular city it would just be next to another modular building on this side. The back of the building has a rear entrance. I need to work on the detail around this a little bit more. And on the upper floor there's room for a couple of windows. I can fit in a staircase here to come to the upper floor of the building. To fit it in, I've had to make the staircase go around a corner, and it will appear in the upper floor here. So the floor plan for the upper floor will be more or less a 16 by 14 rectangle. It does have the bit sticking out the front for the balcony. It's made up of a number of large plates which form the floor plate, and then that's supported by a number of 1 by something plates around the edge and some 2 by plates underneath which bind the larger plates together. And there's a hole in this corner where the stairs will come up, and it fits on there like that. It just sits on top of the ground floor walls, which have a layer of tiles on the top so that it's easily removable. Now, the way I do my stairs, each step is 1 brick high. And when you put the floor plate on for the upper floor, the last step is also 1 brick high, but it consists of the tile at the top of the walls, the plate that is supporting the floor plate, and the floor plate itself. So that way the last step up is equivalent to another step on the staircase, and all the steps are the same height. Now, the roof of this building will just be a plain 16 by 14 plate, again made up of a number of smaller plates attached together underneath with whatever plates I've got. These plates don't need to be anything special because they're not really seen, so I can use old plates or strange shapes if I want to. And that will sit on top of the upper floor of the building. And what I'll try and do is build a traditional gable roof on this house, but I'll also try to retain the ornate gable decoration that was on the original set. Something like this, but I might change this round or maintain the colour scheme of the walls of the house. So now let's look at the apartment building. So the ground floor of this building will still be a shop or a cafe. I'm thinking to keep it as a cafe so that it can service the little seating area in the corner here. I've moved the entrance to the apartment, which will be on the upper floors, to this side of the building here, because this is going to be a blank wall anyway, because it's going to sit next to another modular building on this side. The front of the building will face this side of the base plate. I've put a big picture window in on this side, and the entrance can be here for the cafe. And also moving the staircase to this side means that I now have room for a window on this side of the building. I think that's nicer than just having a blank wall here. It means that people inside can look out over this little seating area, and it also means, of course, that people in the seating area can see into the building. But if this is going to be a shop or a cafe, then that's not really a problem. At the back of the building, I've extended it out a little bit to provide room for a food preparation area or storage area for the shop. That will stop at the ground floor, so this will probably be a flat roof. Still provides access to the townhouse at the back, although it does mean there's no window on the ground floor at the back, but that's okay because I've put the staircase in this corner anyway. Now the staircase for the apartment goes up from this door here, and again, because of the height of this ground floor, I've had to kind of go around a corner and come up into the apartment here. So this mock-up of the staircase shows me where the access will be up into the apartment, and that's let me design the floor plate for the apartment, which will look like this. It's made in the same way as the other floor plate, from a number of large plates and some smaller plates underneath, one by something around the edge, and in fact there's one missing here, which should be a plate to make sure that these two large plates are joined together and can't wobble. So here's a larger 2 by 10 in this case plate, which will go on there. Make sure that's secure, and then the floor plate can sit again on top of the tiled walls of the ground floor, fit on like this, and then in this corner is the aperture for the stairs to come up. It's done in the same way, which is that the last step will be made up of the tile there at the top of the walls and the 2 plates of the floor plate, which means again that all these steps are the same height. So the walls for the upper floor of the apartment will obviously go on the base plate here. They won't be this colour, I'm just using these to mock this up. Obviously against this bit here will be the upper floor of the townhouse, so this more or less needs to be a solid wall. I could have a window in this side, but not in this side, because again that's going to go against another modular building. Along this side I've got lots of room for windows, and along this side I've got lots of room for windows. This first floor of the apartment would be a living space, but I do need to provide stairs up here up to the next floor of the apartment, which would be the bedroom. So I need to provide stairs on this level to get to the upper level, and I'll probably do that in the same way as the stairs that got up to here. That means I'll build some stairs that go up this side, since this wall is blank, go around the corner and come up here. And that means that the floor plate for the bedroom level will be the same as this floor plate. So I'll make another one of these. The walls of this level will be tiled in the same way as the walls of the ground floor. And then the roof obviously will sit on top of this level. So for the roof, if I don't have an access to the roof, then I don't need a staircase on the bedroom level, and I can just make a plain roof that's 20 studs by 12 studs, and that will of course sit then on top of the upper level of the apartment. So in that way it will all be modular. Each floor is built separately and can be removed for access to the interior. The whole thing will meet the modular building standards insofar as it can be connected to another building on this side and another modular building on this side, and there'll be a pavement running along the front of the townhouse here, pavement running along the front of the apartment building here, and there's still room in this corner for a little courtyard garden. I could possibly put back the tree that came with the original Creator 3-in-1 set and provide some seats in the little garden area here, a table maybe for the patrons to have a little snack, and then if this is a cafe, that can be served from this door out into this little outdoor seating area. So I think that's all the decisions I need to make about the structure of these buildings. In the next stage, I'll do the detailed design of how to fit out the interior of the cafe, how to furnish the townhouse and the apartment building above the cafe. Thanks for watching. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to this channel to see more videos about LEGO modular buildings and MOCs.